When it comes down to Android tablets, Samsung makes some of the best experiences available. In July, around the same time they launched the Fold 5 and the Flip 5, they announced the S9 series. So the Tab S9 series has been unveiled. We have the Standard, the Plus, as well as the Ultra. In this video, we're going to talk about both of the Plus and the Ultra, and more specifically, the Plus with 5G and then the Ultra Wi-Fi edition. This is essentially giving us two different experiences when it comes down to tablets. Also, I'm going to address the question of why don't we have a 5G enabled Tab S9 Ultra. This is something that I feel like a lot of us were asking, why is the S9 Plus carrying the 5G moniker? This is TK and this is my review of the brand new Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Plus and Ultra. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So this is the S9 Plus with 5G enabled. It's running currently on ATT, and this one is the Ultra. So the S9 Ultra, the S9 Plus, and again, there's a smaller version of it that's going to be the S9. The biggest difference between the two is the size of the display and the size of the battery. You can see right here the biggest difference between the two. This one is running in at a 12.4-inch display. This is pretty much the same size we had last year, and the Ultra is running still at 14.6-inch display, closer to what a tablet or at least a PC size display is, like what we get typically like at a 15.6. Not exactly, but just a little bit under. Both are powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy. Same processor that we have on the Fold 5, the S23 Ultra. Again, one of the best solutions that we have. RAM and storage configuration, basically 12 to 16 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes available on the Ultra, and all the way from 128 and shooting all the way up to 1 terabyte of storage. And then of course, last but not least, is the camera setup on the back. It's actually identical for both of them. It's a 13 megapixel primary sensor, an 8 megapixel ultra wide that's going to be experienced. And of course, both support the S Pen and both come with the same solution where you're able to basically mount the S Pen in both directions to charge it. And it's the exact same S Pen. There's no real big difference in between those two systems. No wireless charging, although the battery does differ. It's a 10,090 milliampere battery charged with a 45-watt charging, so definitely fast wire charging, no wireless. And this one's going to be supporting an 11,900 milliampere battery, obviously to compensate for the larger display. So keep in mind, even if you do pick up an 5G or a non-5G, the 10,000 or basically the 10,090 milliampere is pretty much going to be the same battery capacity, with the exception of the 5G radios. We have a dual-tone LED flash, a power button, and a volume rocker placed in the same spot. On the LTE or the 5G model, it does actually support both a SIM and an SD card built into this. And if you're buying the Wi-Fi version, you're pretty much just going to have just obviously the SD card. And that's what we have on the Ultra. The 9 Plus here will support both, as I'm showing you guys right there. The SIM tool is definitely very nice. It is included in the box with of course, the instruction information as well as a wired cable to be able to charge up our device. No charger in the box, and that's something that we've had from Samsung for some time. Both of them are tuned by AKG, stereo speakers, quad speakers on the side, beautiful display on the front. Let's go ahead and turn off the display. And you can see here basically the speakers with the microphones on the side and the antennas. A USB-C port capable of giving us audio, charging, as well as data connection, and of course the speakers on the side. On the top, we have, again, some of the microphone arrays. On the bottom, we have a Poco pin connector with 2 offsets, again, available for both all versions of the tablet. That enables you to actually use some accessories like keyboards or docks or something to the effect that enables us to use an auxiliary interface into this. As you can see here, this is the keyboard that I got. Now this one is for the Tab S8 Ultra. Surprisingly, it actually still works directly in here. You mount it in there, and at this point you now have a mouse cursor. This enables us to actually use a keyboard configuration. We actually have shortcuts that we're able to open up. And of course, this will work really nice, especially if you want to be able to use DeX. Now, DeX is built in here as the UI element, as in running UI on the tablet. You don't need to connect the keyboard, but if you want to be able to project DeX, it works great. You want to connect it to DeX on PC, it works great. If you want to run it on the actual unit, it works great as well. And that takes you back directly into the Android interface. The gestures and everything on the keyboard work absolutely fantastic. Again, they do sell accessories available directly for the actual S9, S9 Plus, as well as the S9 Ultra. And again, it interfaces with the bottom dock. So that's one of the really nice things about it. Now, the last difference between the two, one thing to mention is that the Ultra does carry dual cameras on the front. And that's something to keep in mind, that it is, although we're using the same primary sensor, we're able to actually shoot video with 2 cameras on the front. The limitation is 4K 30 frames per second based on the fact that the sensor that we have in here is basically a 12 megapixel sensor. Here we have a dual 12 megapixel sensor launcher again on the front. So 4 cameras on the Ultra, 3 cameras on the S9 Plus, as well as the S9. Now the really nice thing about it is that they both support beautiful large displays, and you're able to customize your experience to your liking. One thing I will say that I really like, and one of the reasons why I feel like Samsung is making some of the best solutions when it comes down to tablets, and that's because the solution that we have here, the ability of customizing our tablet, is absolutely much better or more dramatic when it comes down to things like as far as using good lock, customizing the actual pen. Let's go ahead and pick up the pen from the back. And this is the ability even of putting in here and changing the actual pen input. I can change the actual menu to it, customizing everything from the launcher, even the recents application, allowing us to be able to basically, let's say here, we'll go ahead and grab, and then we can actually do multitasking in multiple aspects. I can run it in 2 different configurations in here. We'll let it go ahead and go through. We'll say continue, allow. And what we want to do basically, even if I want to be able to launch other things, you'll notice the dock comes in from the bottom. And if I want to be able to launch something else, let's say the Google Play Store, I can grab it and put it here on the right side. And now we have the ability of running triple applications and even run a popping, or basically a pop-up window type of an application. Very nice customizations. Again, theme park, fantastic. Home up, like this one actually has an update. I'll go ahead and click on that. And let's go ahead and go back here, and then we'll go click on the actual update itself. So it'll take us directly to the Samsung Galaxy Store, and we'll go ahead and update the app. And of course, I can just go ahead and go back. If I want to go home, swipe home, it takes me back. Everything pretty much is the way I want it. I also have the ability of doing the most recent app. If I swipe halfway, it jumps in there. And of course, I can also go back and it brings me down. All these customizations are built into Good Lock. It is a must-have. Just download it straight from the Galaxy Store application. Let's go ahead and move it in here, and of course, install it. It's compatible with obviously running any kind of applications you can run on your tablet. It will run here, Google services, the Play Store. I use this specifically with the Imaging Edge application. We'll go ahead and just put this in here. And I'm going to actually show you guys real quick a quick preview. And what you're seeing right here essentially is a live preview of the camera as I'm recording this video actually and shooting this piece for you. That's one of the main things that I love using this tablet, because it's such a large display. One that makes more sense for me at 14.6 inch, and I can put this a little bit further away from me and still control my camera and again control my content. Both of them support SD cards. You can expand the storage on them, of course, by adding an additional SD card. The one I have here is a 512 gigs internal storage. So again, you're never going to run out of storage on this. This is intended for media consumption at its best. So this is definitely going to deliver on that. Tab S9 Plus has been running, or I've been using it on AT&T. And one of the biggest things I'll probably say is when we start looking at the actual speed test. Now it is going to obviously differ where you are, but on average, I was getting pretty ridiculous speeds, 5G connectivity all the time. And the SIM card is built in. We do have Wi-Fi 6E, so connectivity is not going to be an issue whenever we're doing that. But the nice thing about it is if you're out and about and you want to be able to enjoy content on this tablet, download movies before a flight, download some games, even be able to actually play some games. I have Call of Duty Mobile and Samurai Showdown. This one's actually one of the Netflix applications that you get for free. You'll notice there's the N next to it in Samurai Showdown. And I'm going to show you guys real quick some B-roll here from my son playing the game on it. It's absolutely very nice. The large display, the larger footprint allows us to enjoy content at its biggest. And if you really want to be able to take this to the next level, get a kickstand case for the actual tablet and use a controller with it, like an Xbox controller, and jump into the Game Pass and play some actually full-fledged Xbox experiences on this tablet, because it can handle and it will handle everything that you need. Now you may be wondering which UI, or basically which interface is going to be the best. Now out of the box, if you're used to using your smartphone and you love that interface, I feel like this is going to work the best, because for the most part, when you want to use it in, let's say, horizontal or even vertical, it will adjust and it will run everything the way you want it. One of my favorite things I always love to show is that actually Instagram is optimized to run on our tablet. And that's one of the main benefits here. You can see here that the entire UI element runs natively. It runs exactly how you're expected on your phone. It fits and it runs the actual system correctly. And if you love using Instagram, the only thing you need to know is that you have to hold it in more of a phone style as opposed to using it in the standard form. And I think that gets you into it. And if you want to switch over to standard tablet mode, absolutely fantastic. We have a little bit of the bezels here on the right and left to be able to hold it so that we have the ability of enjoying the speakers and we're not causing any accidental touches. Google Feed is sitting on the left and you're able to customize and install all the applications that you want. And of course, I think for the most part, streaming is going to be the best solution here. On Wi-Fi with Wi-Fi 6E, it works really nice, no congestions, no issues. And of course, customizing the experience and everything you could do with the S Pen. And one thing I will say is this is actually very much like the S Pen that we see with the Note 23 Ultra or the S23 Ultra. And because this is actually paired via Bluetooth. It charges from the tablet and it's paired via Bluetooth. So in case I say I'm here, let's go ahead into the camera app. We can actually switch, use the gestures, and all of these will work really nice. And let's go ahead and go back here. Let's say I want to switch cameras. I can go into the main camera camera, switch it back again, bring it back in here. If I want to zoom in or zoom out, I can actually do a circle, and you'll notice right there it zooms out. Do another circle, it zooms in. And if I want to be able to start a video, I'll go ahead and click the button, starts the video, and stop the video. All of these are very nice. You can set it down and then of course get the experience that you want. And when you're done with it, you can put the S Pen in both configuration, both in this form or in this form. Conversely, if you want to be able to just basically hold it at the top, it will hold at the top level, but it does not charge it. So just keep in mind that the holder in here is mostly just for keeping it with you while you're walking. But for best configuration, put it in here and of course get a case for it. So the question is going to come up. Should you get a 5G enabled tablet or should you stick with the Wi-Fi? And it's really going to depend on what you do. If your lifestyle or your needs are always going to be outdoors and you're not sure where the Wi-Fi is connected and you don't want to have to go hunt for one, I feel like the 5G solution is definitely going to be really nice. And one of the things you need to keep in mind is there is no Ultra with 5G. If you want a 5G, at least on the S9 series, it has to be with the S9 Plus. So that's the only version that we have. Again, this one's running on AT&T, and they provided me the ability of basically testing it out. It's absolutely fantastic when it comes to speeds. It does differ depending where you are, so the signal strength is going to be a factor. But you'll notice right here at my home, it's not going to be the strongest, so Wi-Fi 6E is going to give me the best experience. We have enough RAM, we have enough storage capability of expansion as well to be able to get the best solution. So it's going to come down again as to what you need. Now, one thing that I really like about this is even though this is technically a 5G enabled tablet, again with the SIM card that we have in here, you're able to go out and install an eSIM service if you want to be able to do it every once in a while, and that also enables you to use it. And we don't need the 5G, turn it off and use it as a Wi-Fi tablet, so it's a little bit more flexible than some of the other options we have on the market. On the Wi-Fi version, of course, there is no eSIM. It's pretty much just Wi-Fi, so you're always going to be depending on a Wi-Fi connection to be able to connect it. Although you can definitely load it up with everything that you need beforehand and make sure that everything runs the way you want it, and then that way you don't have to worry about connection. I love using these on an airplane. I've used it on a few of my trips here. I went to Utah, I went to San Diego, and I've loved the ability of using them with a wired USB-C headset so that I don't have to worry about connecting or any kind of interference while we're traveling. Great audio, personal audio, and of course, a large display to enjoy our device. And of course, a large display to be able to enjoy our content, be it anime, movies, or anything like that. Again, it's not going to disappoint, and if we just go ahead and go home, this gives you the ability of enjoying content and having obviously picture-in-picture, running multi-screen. And if you're done with it, just go ahead and bring it down, close it, and it's going to work the way you expect it. It's literally going to depend on what your use case is going to be. If you need an internet connection when you're traveling, you're going to be working outdoors all the time, that 5G tablet is definitely going to be a win. And the reason why the 5G is on the S9 Plus, not on the S9 Ultra, I feel like it's primarily for portability. Like you notice when you're holding this and you're using it outdoors, it's not going to be too much of a tablet to use. Conversely, if we go into the 14.6-inch display, and it doesn't really look that much bigger, but you saw how much physically bigger it is, and it fills up the entire frame here. This is a much bigger tablet. I feel like it's going to be able to give us the experience we want, but I feel like from a manageability point of view, the S9 Plus definitely benefits from having the 5G. So I think Samsung probably looked into the usability and if you realize it needs to be a little bit more portable when it comes down to 5G connectivity if you're going to be going outdoors with it. This is pretty much more of a stationary laptop solution. You can always tether it directly to your smartphone, either to your Samsung device or even your standard smartphone with a hotspot, and it's going to work just the same. DeX, for me, is going to be obviously one of the best solutions as well. Tablet with a desktop experience that you can run externally or internally, as the main UI is also going to be very nice. As I said at the beginning, I've been using tablets or Samsung tablets for many years, from the S7 to the S8 and now with the S9. The biggest thing I'll probably say is this. For my usage, I need the larger display, and I also need it to have really good Wi-Fi connectivity because I need to make sure that when I'm recording content, I actually can control it, I can move it with me. Also, if I want to be able to use it to actually run my live streams, this is one of the biggest things that I have. Sometimes when you're trying to get into a live stream, all technical problems fall onto the PC that you're trying to use. And in those situations, I was able to actually turn on StreamYard, which is the service that I like to use, run it in Chrome, and we were able to, my buddy Juan Carlos Bagnell and myself, run our live stream directly off of the tablet, and it was really nice. The camera quality on the front-facing camera is absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and do a quick sample for you guys outside shooting in 4K 30 frames per second on the Tab S9 Plus. Now for this example, I'm actually using the Tab S9 Plus. I'm not using the Ultra, but for the most part, the experience should be very similar. Although we only have one sensor here, we're still able to shoot 4K 30 frames per second, and this should be a good example of what you're able to do if you want to be able to do video calls. Again, one of the better solutions that we have when it comes to Android tablets are the S series from Samsung. The S9 Plus and the S9 Ultra are not going to disappoint. Now, one of the things you probably noticed in that video is the quality of the video and the wide angle lens that we have in the front. You're able to fit everything that you need, and the audio experience is also matched, and it definitely sounds absolutely fantastic. That's one of the really nice things. If you want to listen to music on this is going to be one of those boombox on a tablet type of an experience. The quad speakers that we have in here with the AKG tuning that we have give us some of the best experiences. I'm going to go ahead and obviously play our favorite song. This is Alex Scrindo Jumbo by NCS Release. We played this many times. I'm going to put the volume at 100%. Again, it's not intended to run at this. This is going to be obviously more of a demonstration of how this is going to sound. And I'm going to put it about 3 feet or so away from me. Let's go ahead and play.
Jack it up.
And this is, again, the type of solution that Samsung's been doing for many years. They not only give us better solutions as far as audio, video, display rendering, horsepower for processing if you want to be able to edit content on this. And that's one of the really nice things about it. If you want to be able to run, let's say, LumaFusion, connect the external SSD, and of course, run your content from it, edit using with the precise functionality of the pen, and you have a big, beautiful 14.6-inch canvas to be able to use here. Sorry, I didn't mean to launch something accidentally. So from a functionality, I feel like the Tab S series is definitely one of the best solutions on the market in the US. If you're looking for a tablet and you're looking for a premium solution, the Tab S9 Plus and the S9 Ultra are not going to disappoint. Where the Tab S9 becomes a little bit more functional is from a price point stand, and of course that gives you the best of both worlds. You get the affordability, the smaller size, the portability, and still the experience that Samsung has given us with the S series for many years so far. So if you're thinking about picking up a tablet, I hope this video helped you pick a tablet from Samsung's solutions that we have here. The S9 Plus and the S9 Ultra are great options. The 5G is always going to end up being something that if you need it, this is going to be a solution there. And if you feel like you need it every once in a while, pick up the 5G tablet and of course use it with an eSIM whenever you need connectivity, and then use it as a standard tablet whenever you don't. You're not going to be missing out on anything, and I feel like that's the portability or the function that the S9 Plus has over the Ultra. It's the flexibility of connectivity. You can be connected at home or outside without any issue. Let me know in the comments below what do you guys think of both of these tablets. I want to say thank you very much to AT&T for allowing me to review the Tab S9 Plus with 5G. They sent me this unit as well as the watch that I have here, and I'll have a video for you guys coming up very soon. And of course, the ability of running it on their service for 5G with the SIM card that they provided. Like and subscribe as usual, and make sure you let me know in the comments below which one do you like. Is it the S9 Plus with 5G or the standard S9 Plus, or even if you went with the Ultra? And if you picked up one of these tablets from Samsung this year, let me know how has your experience been. Make sure you download Good Lock to get the best experience. I'll see you in the next video.